Majaz is an 34-piece progressive fusion folk band from Bahrain. Their progressive-driven fusion of types forged by their unconventional blend of instruments has been widely recognized, making them one of the island's most unique musical acts. Formed in 2013, Majaz has been performing live for several years and have released their first single in October 2016. Recorded at Studio Majaz, the band's very own self-built home studio, their first EP titled Rahla was praised by many acclaimed musicians, both local and international. The EP was released at the beginning of 2017 and was followed by an equally successful launch. The band has also recently performed at the Spring of Culture events.
Majaz, the band, was formed back in 2013, and I later joined the band around late 2015, I believe. And the name Majaz actually translates directly to metaphor in English, and we just found it to be representative of the music that we are trying to make. It's basically something like creating a metaphor through music. And especially with us experimenting with different genres and different musical styles, like exploring different cultures as well through music. And that's basically what how the name relates to our music. We have been performing for a while, obviously, in a lot of events, a lot of music festivals. Some of the most prominent ones are The Nest, if you know it, which we have performed, I think, 2 or 3 times. And there's obviously one of our biggest concerts, which was the Spring of Culture. It was very well received, and we very much enjoyed that, and we're very grateful to have that opportunity, especially as a local Bahraini band playing in such a huge event, in the country. We have also performed in one of the biggest Arab alternative music festivals in Dubai, which is called Wasla. And it was such an overwhelming experience, to be honest, especially sharing the stage with huge names from the Arab alternative world. We had such an amazing time. Saudi Arabia was a bit different. It was a public event. However, actually the interesting thing about it was that people really liked it. People seemed to really enjoy the fact that there's live music, and they enjoyed the music that we played. It was very well received, and I think especially now with Saudi Arabia kind of opening up more, so to speak, I believe that we will also find more opportunities, not just for us, but for tons of other bands in Bahrain and in the region to perform in Saudi Arabia, because there, as you know, the population is huge and the opportunities there are, endless. So.
Usually in the between musicians, it's very rare that you hear a critic, not for any musician, because most people are too nice, and they would never be that honest with you and tell you that, by the way, I didn't like that part. They'll have to be really honest with you, and they have to be really close with you in order for them to be that direct. We heard indirect comments, like people who told us, like some people don't really connect with our music as like other people. So of course our genre is not the usual, so I'm very sure there are people that are not accepting it in a way. So definitely there are people, but if we ever received direct criticism, that never happened, because sadly we don't have enough honest people in the world, I think. Thanks to EDB, Economic Development Board, that gave us the chance to perform in such a festival, because based on what I know, the only Bahraini band who played there was Osiris, and I don't know if you've heard of them. They've been active since the 60s, and they're still active. So they were the only Bahraini band, based on my knowledge, that they have performed in Spring of Culture, and that was like many years ago. So since that, we were the first Bahraini band to perform in Spring of Culture, and it was a really, really good move, not only for us, but for all Bahraini bands. And when I knew that they accepted us, like, to perform there, I knew that it was going to be a constant thing. And this year we had Liquid, and they hosted other guests as Bahraini musicians, and we're very happy about it, because I told that personally to Hadi, the guy who works in EDB. I told him, like, this is a very good step, and now musicians have a good future. Like, now we can say we have a good future in this country, because they gave us this platform to perform there. And the response from the crowd was really good. Like, although they were sitting, but still they were dancing and cheering and clapping, which is a good sign for us.
I think the biggest reason behind that is how most, you can say most parents, I think, especially, the older generations, tend to think rock as, because really what rock is about, it's all about, like, rebelling, right? It's all about kind of coming up with your own sound, being independent and all of that. And that, especially in the region, and especially here in the Gulf, that's kind of a very, I wouldn't say frowned upon, but it's kind of not very conventional, especially for kids to do that. And so rock has always been portrayed as this, evil thing, and it has always been like that, to be honest. But it stayed longer here in this part of the world. And I think it mainly has to do with education, and just allowing kids of younger generations to explore their musicality and explore different genres and explore what they really love. And there's really nothing, when it comes down to rock, there's really nothing wrong about it, because it's just a form of expression, just like any other genre in music. And yeah, I would say, to rectify that, we just give more freedom and more, basically, freedom of expression to especially the young generations.
We released our first EP which concludes of 4 songs. And after that, we released a single just a few weeks ago. And they are available for free to listen to on YouTube or SoundCloud. To download them, you can download them from Bandcamp or iTunes, but for a very affordable price. It's almost nothing. I think there are so many different types of inspiration. First is the musical inspiration. We listen to, we're 4 members and each listens to completely different things. Like I really love reggae and Latin, for example. Hamid likes indie, neo-pop bands and progressive rock. The bassist, he's like hardcore Iron Maiden fan, for example, and many other things. And we have the cellist, who is like purely influenced by Middle Eastern music, who studied in Kuwait for 5 years music, and so each has like really different types of music that he listens to on a daily basis. So that helps a lot in our variety of everything, rhythms, scales, and so we have that kind of inspiration. And the other kind of inspiration is the daily routine that you have as a human. You know, some of them, they wake up, they drink a coffee, go to the office. Some of them, they wake up at 2 p.m. and so each person goes through a different routine daily.
Well, as Majaz, we've released our first EP in 2017, last year, and we've just actually released a new single called Mashuja wa Jangwa, which is sang in Swahili actually, and it has to do with just going back to your tribal roots and being in touch with the beauty of the African spirit, you know. And yeah, it's available everywhere online, so people can check that out anytime. Main goal of every band is to share their music with as many people as possible, and we're aiming to hopefully tour as many countries as possible. We have a summer tour coming up, which we're planning on, hitting at least 4 or 5 countries here in the region and abroad as well. But yeah, where I see us going is basically what keeps us always going, which is to just continuously make music and make an influence on people's lives in some way even, just to make a difference and to just bring a little bit of sunshine into people's lives every day.
Our music instrumentally is 80% or if not 90% Oriental and Middle Eastern influenced. We try to do as much of that because if we ever gonna play internationally, we don't want to play something that has already been done. We want to show them something new, which is especially like the scales and rhythms from this island, from Bahrain. I'm sure not many people have heard it, so we try as much as we can to show that. So we show something new. For now, we're recording the new album. Hopefully we'll be ready by end of this year or beginning of next year. That's our main focus right now, and we're in touch with some tour agents and all over the Middle East, Egypt, Lebanon, to have like some shows after Ramadan. So far that's the plan for this year, and what we aim to do is hopefully we tour Europe by next year, and US and Canada by after. So that's our plan so far. For for us, it was kind of like the past 3 years or 2 years. It was a big shock for us that we achieved to be full-time musicians in Bahrain, and us ourselves, not even like the society, us ourselves, we didn't believe that such thing was possible in Bahrain. And because we sacrificed a lot, we sacrificed time with family, time with friends, we sacrificed other dreams, we sacrificed being broke, for example. So it was not easy, obviously, but we were really shocked that we achieved such a thing in Bahrain.